Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to get started as a dividend investor from the ground up. I'm going to be talking about my overall portfolio, what the projections are looking like in terms of my dividend income, and we're going to be breaking it all down. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, again, if this is your first time here, guys, my name is Dalton and this is dlitztv. On this channel, we talk about all things investing, and let's just jump right in. I got a lot to cover in this video and I'm excited to get it to you. So basically what you're looking at here is a combination of all of my dividend income that I'm receiving from the portfolios that I show on this channel. I'm gonna rename this because now it's not just my Robinhood dividend portfolio, it also includes webull investing as well. So I'm just gonna say that this is the dividend portfolio, and all of the links that I mention in this video, all the programs that I use, will be in the description. So if you are ever wondering what these services are, how they work, you can just jump right down and check them out. But essentially, this is TrackYourDividends.com. This is the website that I use. It's almost entirely free. They have some paid portions to it as well. I mainly use the free portions though. And what this does is it allows me to manually enter the information whenever I buy, whenever I sell. If I'm paid a dividend, I put it in here and it will report it and record it on this portfolio. So I don't even have to think twice. It's going to update all of the numbers for me, and it's really great information. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, what the heck is a dividend? How do they work? Well, the way that you can think about dividend payments is essentially that these companies will pay you for being a shareholder of their company. And you might wonder, hey, why would they do that? Well, if they're doing extremely well, maybe their focus isn't necessarily on growth, then they want to reward some of their shareholders. So they actually will pay you money to do so. It's a really, really cool concept. It's pretty stable. If you're investing in the right companies, you can really make a living off of it after a while. It takes a long time to build, but once you put in the foundation, the ground level, it really compounds and you can get it done much quicker. So initially when I started dividend investing, I was lucky to make, $3 in the entire year off of maybe a $50 investment. But now I'm rolling in over $100 some months, and it's looking pretty solid moving forward. I'll talk about the projections here in a second. I just wanted to scroll through my portfolio, give you guys a general sense of some of the companies that I'm investing in. And you're definitely going to notice that a lot of them are big names. You recognize these companies because that's my exact investment style. I'm not trying to make any penny plays. I'm not trying to make any big momentum pushes going after these risky stocks. I like to go for those solid blue chip value stocks that are going to provide a stable dividend for the foreseeable future. That's exactly what I like to do. Helps me sleep at night. May not agree with some of you guys out there. It might not be your preferred method of investing, but dividend investing for me is by far the best method. And what I will be introducing on this channel soon as well is a growth portfolio. I'm going to be focusing on the M1 Finance application for that. So stay tuned for that video. Now, if you guys are still a little bit confused about dividends, how they work, let me just jump into one of these companies, Coca-Cola, which happens to be Warren Buffett's favorite investment. He's been investing in Coca-Cola for a long time now. So if I jump in, you can see some information on Coca-Cola here. Their current price is $49.91. Their forward dividend yield is 3.29%. Their annual payment is $1.64, and their payout ratio is 89.63%. Essentially what this means is they have a dividend payment of 3.29% annually, and over the course of a year, they will pay out $1.64 per share. So every share that I own of Coca-Cola, I'm gonna be getting $1.64 from them. And it's really cool. I mean, some companies, if you look into it, like, Amazon, Google, Tesla, these companies do not pay dividends because they feel like they can grow their company better utilizing the money, reinvesting it into their actual company. So they can grow, their focus obviously is on the growth in that aspect, whereas these dividend payments, a lot of people actually love dividend payments because of tax incentives later on that you receive. So if you're taxed from dividend income, usually you're looking at a tax rate of anywhere from 0 to 20%, depending on what you're investing in. If you're investing in REITs, it's a little bit different, which is a real estate investment trust. But if you're getting taxed on, normal income when you're older, when you're working, you're looking at upwards of 40% and sometimes higher in certain cases. So that's why a lot of these wealthy, rich people will start cycling their money into dividends because of the tax incentives that they will provide later in life. Now, if you guys were curious about my portfolio in particular, right now, I'm trying to increase the dividend yield I am receiving. So overall, I'm getting a 3.49% dividend yield. So if you guys were confused as to what the dividend yield percentage represents, it's a financial ratio that takes the dividend divided by the stock price in order to identify how much dividends are being paid out relative to the stock price. Now, if you're looking for a solid way to find new dividend paying stocks, essentially you need to go into every single stock that you're looking at to determine if it's going to pay a dividend or not. You can do that simply by going onto a website like Yahoo Finance. Let me drill into Yahoo Finance real quick so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If I were to go into Yahoo Finance and let's say I looked up a stock, let's look up Apple here. You can see right now, if I scroll down, I'm looking for dividends. I'm going to Command F dividend. You can see right here that the dividend yield is 82 cents or 0.6%. Now, if I were to look up Tesla, as I had mentioned before, go into Tesla, you're going to notice that there's NA not applicable for the dividend. It's not going to be displayed here. So that's kind of how I use Yahoo Finance to determine some of that stuff. If you're looking for just getting started, what dividend stocks should you be investing in? Well, I can't actually give you that information because I am not a financial advisor. So any of this information that I'm presenting to you guys, you want to make sure you're doing your own due diligence. But where I started as a brand new beginning dividend investor was the Sure Dividend website. I looked at these things called Dividend Aristocrats and Dividend Kings. I just so happen to have those tabs open right now. Essentially, if you look at the Dividend Aristocrat, you can tell that there are 65 different Dividend Aristocrats right now. You might be wondering what this means. Well, a Dividend Aristocrat has been consecutively increasing their dividend payment for the past 25 plus consecutive years. And what this means is these companies have an emphasis on paying their dividend. You're going to want to do some research into each one, but if you go on this website, you can get that overall breakdown. It talks about each one individually, what analysts are saying. There's a bunch of information you can find on it. And this is just a really great resource to add to your resources when you're choosing an investment. Now, you can get an Excel spreadsheet that has all of them listed on them. You can sort it by the price, the PE ratio, the market cap, whatever you're thinking of, however you want to determine your investments, you can sort it through on that Excel spreadsheet. So it's really great. And then if you're wondering about Dividend Kings, it's literally the same thing, the same website. You're going to get the same information here. There are 31 Dividend Kings right now. And what we're looking at for Dividend Kings is any of those companies that have been increasing their dividend payments for 50 plus consecutive years. Now, if I go back to that dividend tracker website that we're talking about, going more into my specific portfolio, you might be wondering, okay, you got a portfolio value around $18,200. What is it looking like in terms of dividends that you're receiving? So let me go ahead, go into the upcoming dividend tabs here. If I go into the dividend portfolio tab here, what you're gonna find is the display on a graph, what it looks like for the rest of this year and beyond for dividend payments that I will be receiving. So you can see the highest one I'm getting is $85.08, and then it drops all the way down to $18.50. You might be wondering why it fluctuates so much. Well, some companies pay quarterly, some pay monthly. It all depends on the style of the companies that are paying you. So you can see at the beginning of each quarter, that's when I'm making the most money because a lot of the dividend investments that I am making are quarterly dividend payers. So if I scroll, you can just kind of see the values coming in, $59.48, $80.17, it just so on and so forth. It's really cool to be able to see these numbers firsthand. And though this isn't guaranteed because companies can slash or remove dividends, for the most part, this is pretty stable because of the style that I am investing, those companies that I am choosing. So that's just really cool, the upcoming dividend feature in there. You can also look at the future value. So let me hop into that dividend portfolio right now. And then you can see this is what, if I weren't to put in any more money, if I just let my dividends reinvest and keep them in the portfolio, this is the projection of this portfolio. So right now it's valued at $18,298. The end of next year, it'd be a little bit higher than that, almost $19,000, then $19,700 the year after that. Let me just quickly scroll through this so you can see it really starts to ramp up pretty quickly here. And as you get towards the tail end, you're gonna notice this compounding effect, because as you are getting paid dividends, you reinvest them back into these companies and you start making more money. And on top of that, these companies will likely grow over time. And you can see after 25 years, look at this chart. This is exactly what you wanna see with your investments. This is an exponential graph where it's getting higher and higher, very, very steep, very quickly. So if you start in 2021, you can see my portfolio value of $18,298.56. By the year 2045 turns into $166,601.85. That's if I were to leave this money here, not add anything to it, just reinvest the dividends. And that's why I put such a big focus on these companies, on dividend payers, ones that are going to grow in the future, and just keep on reinvesting that money, because as you build it up, you are going to see your projections get higher and higher. And that's why I love anytime I make an investment, I plug it in this website and I see exactly what's going on in the future, where my values are headed, and how much this portfolio's potential could actually reach. Now, one thing that I really want to mention is as you are a brand new dividend investor, or maybe you've been doing it for a while, you don't want to get caught in something that's known as the dividend trap, where you focus so heavily on dividend payments that you neglect to look at other, financial figures or other information about stocks. So I remember when I first started investing in dividend paying companies, I wasn't necessarily looking at the balance sheet, the financial statements. I wasn't taking into consideration the companies. I was going for the highest possible dividend yield. So where a company like Coca-Cola has a 3.3% roughly dividend yield, there are a lot of other companies out there that have much higher dividend payments. And you might look at it and you're like, wow, this is a 20% dividend. I can make so much money off of this 20% dividend. It makes no sense why I wouldn't put money into it. Well, if it looks to be too good to be true, that's likely the case when it comes to investing, anything in the investment world. It's hard to make money. It takes a long time. Typically, there are ways that people have done it before. It doesn't work out for most investors, and it certainly has not worked out for me. So I was investing in these companies with, 18 to 20% dividend yields. And what you're going to notice is a lot of times the dividend yields are so high to entice investors to get in. They're literally dividend traps, because they trap investors with my mindset that go in thinking they're going to make a lot of money from it, and then they end up getting screwed. So they'll end up, cutting the dividends. They could cut them in half. They could completely remove dividends. These companies, financially, they could be completely screwed and be going out of business. And it's really interesting to just keep an eye on different, levels of dividend. And really, I've shifted the way that I view my investments. I take a lot more information into account. I look at, future trends, future projections. I look at their dividend now. Is it growing? Are they part of that dividend king, dividend aristocrat family? There's a lot that you want to do. And obviously, guys, again, I'm not a financial advisor. You're going to want to do your own research into this stuff. But that's exactly how I got started. This portfolio, around $18,000. I've been working full-time out of college for about a year and a half roughly, and I've been able to grow this quite rapidly. Now, this isn't my only form of investment. I also got a 401k. I got a few other investment accounts as well, but this is where I like to report, show all of the money that I'm bringing in. And kind of the whole point, the whole premise to this YouTube channel is just to show you guys, like, this is my wealth building journey. You guys are in it right now. If you've subscribed early on, you've kind of seen this come to fruition, and this is going to continue to grow. And I'm just like an average guy. I'm not putting hundreds of thousands of dollars in the market. I'm not putting tens of thousands or weekly or anything like that. Literally, I was doing $100 a week, and this is where my portfolio is now. And sticking true to it, making these investments, this is going to grow so much higher. So if you guys want to stick around for the journey, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn on that bell notification. You won't want to miss a lot of the videos I have coming out. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you took anything away, hit that like button, and have a great day.